Chapter 2. Build a budget that fits your life. Let's dive into this important topic. Forget lists of 50 categories that you'll never keep updated. The 4-category budget is the alternative most beginners need. It reduces choices so decisions get easier. Instead of breaking every purchase into a narrow slot, the 4-category method groups spending into broad, sensible buckets you can actually use. That simplicity is what makes a budget stick. In this chapter, you'll meet the 4 categories, see examples of what belongs in each, and learn how to personalize them so they match your priorities and routines. We'll talk about how to map recurring costs like rent and utilities, irregular bills like car repairs, and flexible spending like dining out or hobbies. You'll also learn a straightforward way to handle sinking funds, those small savings accounts for future expenses, without creating an avalanche of separate line items. Personalization matters. A budget that works for a single person on a tight income looks different from one for a household with kids or a couple sharing finances. I'll show you how to tailor the 4-category model to your situation, including how to combine or split categories if it helps your life. The goal is a simple structure you'll actually check, not a financial performance you can't maintain. Finally, you'll get practical steps for setting realistic spending caps. These are not arbitrary rules. They're based on your 3 key numbers and your real priorities. You'll walk away with a basic budget you can try for a month and a checklist for small tweaks that keep things realistic and stress-free. 2.1. The 4-category budget. The 4-category budget reduces choices so you can actually use a plan. Instead of dozens of line items, you group everything into broad buckets that match how you live. This intro shows the basic purpose: simplify tracking, speed decisions, and make money choices obvious without constant spreadsheet work. Essentials. What must get paid? Essentials are the bills you can't skip without immediate consequences. Rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, reliable transportation, and minimum debt payments. Treat this bucket like a foundation. Know the total each month so you immediately see how much remains for other priorities. That clarity reduces panic and prevents decisions based on guesswork. Track these items monthly and be conservative when you estimate variable costs like groceries or utilities. Round recurring numbers up or use 1 extra month's average as a buffer. Automate payments where possible to avoid late fees and to make this bucket truly set it and forget it. If your essentials exceed what you earn, this is the place to make adjustments first. Shop for cheaper insurance, renegotiate plans, or prioritize debts. Stability here makes the rest of your budget realistic and much easier to manage. Savings and debt. Future you priorities. Combine emergency savings, targeted sinking funds, and extra debt payments in one clear bucket. The trick is to treat these goals like mandatory expenses. Pay yourself and your debts first, just as you would a bill. That keeps momentum without micromanaging every tiny savings line. Use simple labels for larger goals: emergency fund, car replacement, credit card payoff, and roll smaller goals into a general savings line until they grow big enough to separate. Automating transfers also keeps progress steady and removes decision fatigue. Prioritize based on impact. Build a small emergency buffer quickly, then balance extra debt payments with continued saving. Over time, this combined bucket reduces stress and creates real choices for future you without cluttering your monthly plan. Lifestyle. Choices that make life enjoyable. This bucket covers variable spending that adds enjoyment: dining out, entertainment, subscriptions, hobbies, and small daily comforts. Grouping these frees you from logging every single purchase and keeps budgeting practical. Decide a monthly cap that feels fair and stick to it. If you want more clarity, split into 2 simple sub-buckets: daily comforts, frequent lower-cost items, and occasional treats, bigger nights out or gear. That helps you protect small pleasures while still controlling the big spends that blow a month. Use the lifestyle cap as the place to practice judgment, not punishment. If you overspend one month, make a tiny adjustment the next. Tracking trends for 2 or 3 months will help you pick a realistic number that fits your life without making you miserable. Buffer and irregulars, the safety valve. Every budget needs a single place for unpredictable costs: car repairs, medical copays, gifts, taxes, or an unexpectedly high bill. This buffer prevents you from raiding essentials or lifestyle money when life throws curveballs. Think of it as your short-term shock absorber. Replenish the buffer as soon as you use it, so it's ready for the next surprise. Start small and build it gradually. Even a modest cushion reduces stress and keeps other categories intact. Over time, a reliable buffer shrinks how often you need to adjust everything else. As your financial picture stabilizes, the required buffer size may shrink. That's a good sign. Use freed-up space to boost savings or pay down debt. The goal is flexibility, one bucket that keeps your budget resilient without adding complexity. 2.2. Personalizing your categories. One size doesn't fit everyone. Personalization makes the 4-category method practical. This short intro explains how to adapt buckets so they reflect your household, income, and goals without adding complexity. Combine when it reduces friction. If you're single with simple finances, combine savings and buffer into one line until your goals require separation. Fewer lines mean fewer decisions. The aim is to lower the friction of checking your budget, not to create a complex taxonomy. Start simple and split only when it helps clarity. Think of this like decluttering. One tidy folder beats 10 half-used notebooks. A combined savings and buffer bucket can hold emergency money, short-term goals, and occasional windfalls. Use tags or simple notes to remind yourself what portions are for, but resist separate columns or accounts unless you actually use them. Check this combined bucket in your weekly reset. If you find recurring questions, is that for car repairs or groceries? Then consider creating a new line. Until then, keeping it unified reduces cognitive load and makes maintaining the budget far more likely. Give it a month before changing. Split when clarity matters. When your life includes dependents, shared bills, or complex goals, splitting categories can answer real questions. Don't split for neatness. Split when it gives you information you'll use. For example, separating childcare from general lifestyle spending helps you see how much parenting costs each month and makes trade-offs clearer. Another common split is separating subscriptions or transportation if they form a sizable chunk of your expenses. If you keep asking, "Did my transportation budget blow this month?" then that split is warranted. The extra line is justified if it stops repeated guessing or saves you from overspending in other buckets. Make splits surgical and reversible. Start with the smallest number of new lines that solve your question and test them for a month. If they don't provide clarity, merge them back. Small experiments beat theoretical perfection. Shared finances. Agreed roles, clear labels. Money arguments often come from vague expectations. For couples, the fix is simple. Agree roles and label buckets clearly. Create a shared essentials bucket for rent, utilities, groceries, and childcare. Then give each person a personal lifestyle bucket for hobbies, clothing, or discretionary spending. Decide who pays what based on income, fairness, or convenience. There's no single right answer. Some couples split proportionally to income, others split evenly. Whatever method you choose, write it down in plain terms so both partners know the commitments and there's no room for assumptions. Use labels everyone understands and include contribution rules in your weekly reset checklist. If one partner covers a bill this month, note it once so it's clear where adjustments happened. Also, schedule a monthly money chat to revisit roles and address surprises. Small, regular check-ins keep things fair. Syncing funds without chaos. Syncing funds are powerful, but can create category fatigue when you list every future expense. Instead of a separate line for each small item, roll most into your combined savings and debt bucket. Track the 2 or 3 largest future costs, like a dedicated car fund and a home maintenance fund, so big items remain visible. Within your combined bucket, use simple labels or notes to mark intended uses. During your weekly reset, glance at the totals for each labeled purpose and adjust contributions as needed. This gives you the benefits of syncing funds, planned saving, and less panic without dozens of tiny categories you'll ignore. When a labeled fund grows enough to deserve its own account, separate it then. Until that point, aggregation reduces complexity and keeps your budget readable. Remember, the point of syncing funds is to make spending predictable, not to turn your budget into a filing system. 2.3. Setting realistic spending caps. Caps are not punishment. They're limits based on your real inflow and priorities. This intro explains how to set caps that follow your 3 numbers and feel doable long-term. Start from your 3 numbers. Begin with the 3 numbers you already know: money in, money out, and money left. Calculate your monthly take-home pay holistically, including steady deposits and a conservative average of any irregular income. Then list fixed essentials: rent or mortgage, utilities, minimum debt payments, groceries, so you can see what is non-negotiable each month. Once essentials are tallied, look at what remains. Use that remainder to set caps for savings, lifestyle, and your cash buffer. Base these caps on actual leftovers, not on idealized percentages that feel impossible to maintain. For example, if your take-home is $3,000 and essentials are $2,100, you have $900 to split. Treat the first set of caps as starting points, not final judgments. This approach reduces shame and makes budgeting sustainable. You work from facts, adjust gradually, and build confidence rather than chasing perfection. Use simple percentages as guides. Simple percentage splits give you a fast, repeatable starting point when you don't want to micromanage numbers. A common baseline many beginners find useful is 50% essentials, 20% savings and debt, 20% lifestyle, and 10% buffer. Think of these percentages as guides, not strict laws. Apply them to your take-home pay to get ballpark caps. If 50% of your income isn't enough to cover actual essentials, raise that category and lower lifestyle instead. The point is to create a plan that reflects reality while keeping choices manageable. Percentages also make day-to-day decisions simpler. When tempted by a purchase, check if it fits the lifestyle bucket. For irregular earners, use averages or base your plan on your lowest typical month. Over time, customize the split to match your life and priorities. Apply the 90% rule to your caps. The 90% rule gives your caps breathing room. Set a lifestyle cap, but aim to spend only 90% of it. That small cushion helps protect your buffer and prevents guilt when small unexpected costs arise. It's a practical way to avoid the tightrope feeling of living right at the limit. For example, if the lifestyle cap is $500, plan to spend $450. The remaining $50 can roll into your buffer, boost savings, or fund an occasional treat. This habit reduces the all-or-nothing mindset, where a single slip feels like failure. Use the rule as a behavioral nudge. Check progress during your weekly reset so you don't wait until month-end to see a shortfall. If you consistently underspend, reallocate the difference. If you consistently overspend, slightly lower the cap or find small, lifestyle adjustments. Plan for review and small adjustments. Think of caps as experiments you'll refine. After 1 month, compare actual spending to your caps and note surprises. Did essentials run higher, or did lifestyle expenses balloon? That feedback is how you tune the plan to match your life. When adjustments are needed, make small, deliberate changes. Raise an underestimated essential and shave a bit off the lifestyle cap, or move a one-off expense to a sinking fund. Tiny shifts are easier to maintain than sweeping cuts that feel punitive. Avoid overreacting to a single bad month. Look for patterns over 2 or 3 cycles before making major changes. Document why you adjusted each cap so future reviews are clearer. Regular, modest tweaks keep your budget useful and aligned with real life instead of forcing life to fit rigid rules.